This is Dr. Thomas Lamperti. I'm a board-certified facial plastic surgeon in Seattle. Today I'd like to review some before and after photographs of a rhinoplasty patient of mine who created a straighter nose and also improved her chin projection. This photo shows a before photo of the patient. You can see that she has a tortuous or S-shaped deviation of her nose to the right. Additionally, on the inside of her nose, her septum is also quite deviated, which we'll also repair. This photo now adds the preoperative digital morphing that we perform, which is on the right pane. You can see that it's planned a much straighter nose, but also didn't make it perfect. There's some asymmetry still, which I try to be conservative with. And lastly, we have our postoperative view, which is on the far right. You can see the nose is much straighter, and in fact, I think looks better than what I had initially planned on the preoperative morphing. Now from the profile we can get a better sense of her nose as well. Her tip is over projected, but otherwise she has a nice profile line. The chin is very under projected, and that's the most notable thing in this view. Next you can see the preoperative digital morphing we did on the right, where we deproject the tip somewhat and improve the chin projection conservatively. And then on our next segment you can see the final result on the right, where we improve the tip projection even further than I initially thought, and then also improve the chin projection quite a bit via sliding genioplasty. We used an open rhinoplasty approach for her nose to improve the septum and overall breathing as well. You can see that the overall effect is a much more imbalanced and harmonious appearance as the nose and chin are in a better relation to each other. That's all I have for now. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube feed or check my website for further rhinoplasty information.